What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Alright guys, we are going to be talking again about Thomas Andre, the man of the hour, the man of the week, the man of the month. And we're going to talk this time around the word shield acquisition and what it all means, how it works, and how it is different than the rest of the shields in the game. Not to mention also we're going to test out the Guardian set. Plus, I want to talk about another set, the Dragon set, the solid, I think it's called Solid Foundation set, which I thought would work really well, but actually ended up not working, and I'll explain to you guys why. So this is going to give you guys an overall sense of how good the shield is on him, and what shield acquisition means, and how it differs from somebody else. Okay, so let's just go into an encore match real quick here. I want to just show you guys, I guess we can do this one, okay? So we'll jump in. I don't want to use all 10. We'll just go with, we'll go with 1. That's not, actually, you know what? I don't even need to fight. I just need to show you guys how this works. All right, so let's talk about the conventional way, the conventional method of how it works. Now, one thing I want to point out, a lot of you guys have his weapon. His weapon does the following: increases shield acquisition by 24%. If I were to take this off, right, I'm gonna actually go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna show you guys what the shield looks like without it, and then I'm gonna show you guys what the shield looks with it. Now remember, every passive that he has provides him a shield increase, so the shield increase itself is not very big. It's about 10% total. So let me go to the hunter himself. You guys can see Thomas also gets a shield every time he does one of his following moves. Every time he does one of his cores, he'll get a shield. Every time he does a basic skill, he'll get a shield. Every time he does his absolute demolition, he'll get a shield. Every time he does his volley crush, he will not get a shield here, but he will get a shield whenever he transforms into the steel tyrant, okay? Now this one here is where the shield lasts for a very long time. These ones come and go as you perform skills, and they disappear really quickly. Ironically enough, they actually don't tell you that anywhere. Right, you can take a look here. It doesn't tell you that the shield actually does go away. It actually does, which is really, really weird about it. But I kind of wish they do change the texting on this one. Plus, you guys can see here when you go to his passives, he will get himself a shield every single time he does one of his skills. Let's see, I'll just show you guys really quick here. You guys can see it. He gets a shield that increases by 2%, stacking up to 5 times, and then he'll get a shield at a was it A1? No, here we go, A2. A2 will also improve the shield by 8%, okay? So let's go through this and show you guys how this works and how it differentiates between a regular shield and Thomas's shields, and what the actual shield acquisition means. So I'm going to unequip this to show you guys that 24% does make a pretty big difference. And then we're actually going to show you guys Guardian set and how that is actually making an impact, or if not making an impact, the surprise I kind of found when I did my testing. So I want to share this with you guys. Okay, so let's talk about Gun-He real quick. I'm not going to fight the boss, all right? We see Gun-He does not have a shield, right? But if I do a fighting spirit, you guys see the shield, it's a 5. You can see the shield starts around between the 5 and the 7. Just kind of look at the HP, right? If I perform it again, you're going to see here, it doesn't increase, right? It just stays at the 571. So all it does essentially is will refresh the shield every single time, right? It will not increase the shield in any way, shape, or form. Now, if we put Thomas into the equation, it actually is a little bit different. When he does one of his skills, he gets a 2% increase in his defense. Now look at that. That stops after the 4. So between the 3 and the 4, right there, right? 3 and the 4. Now keep that in mind. I'll do this again. 3 and the 4, right? Around there. Now if I do another skill, his actual shield acquisition will grow a little bit, right? So that's what the acquisition is. Now you guys saw it didn't move very, very much at all. So I'm going to let both skills kind of refresh, and you'll see the shield acquisition very quickly go up when I do perform the proper skill. So look, watch this. It goes 3, 4. If I do it again, 3, 4, right? Yeah, see, it's not growing whatsoever. Now, the shield, the acquisition portion of it is too small. Now, if I were to go back, now let's re-equip the weapon, and you'll see the shield acquisition aspect of it will actually grow, because the 24% adds a little bit more of an emphasis on the growth part, right? So I'm going to go back in, and this time we're going to equip his shield, or equip his weapon, sorry, which now gives us 24% plus the extra 10, so we're at 34% more shield acquisition. Now, again, we saw Gun-He's shield not move at all. Correct? You guys remember that? So let me show you guys now how it works for Thomas. Now you can easily see this when you go into Steel Tyrant. The growth is much larger, but I want to show you guys here. Watch. So 4-1. See, you can see it's moving just a tad bit, right? You guys can see the growth of the shield actually does happen. So if I go Tyrant mode, this is where you're going to keep note of this, okay? This is important. Keep note of this. The shield is after the 3. 30741. Okay, a little bit after the 3. Now watch. Look how much faster it grows here in this phase. Like you can see here, but it also goes back, right? There's actually a maximum that this can grow, and it does revert back to its original form. But you can see here, it actually starts disappearing a little bit more every time you don't do anything. So very important to note, shield acquisition allows you to grow a bigger shield And that's the purpose of it. The majority of the time, you're going to see it during the phase where he transforms and he can do his ultimate. Now, let's talk a little bit about the actual sets. Now, I currently have, let me go back and show you guys. I currently have the Warmonger set, or actually I have the Guardian set on him. Okay, so we're going to take a note here when he transforms, what his number looks like with the Guardian set and without it. I'm going to show you guys real quick how this works. The Guardian set gives him a 30% larger shield. Now, a lot of people are going to mistake that 30% as multiplicative. It's not, it's actually additional. Okay, so it's not as big as you think it is. Now, the shield will also activate and give him the 10% extra bonus, obviously, so that is nice. But let's see how much of a difference the shield makes. The main thing to remember with this is that defense here drives the shield amount. Okay, so remember, 24K 772. That's the shield, that's the defense that I currently have with this set. I'm going to switch the set to a higher defense, and we'll see how much of a difference Guardian makes in the shield versus non-Guardian. Now, this is simply going to be a little bit of a test in vision. So we're just going to see where it lands, and we're going to take a quick screenshot of it, and then we're going to take it and compare it to another set that's not Guardian and see how much of a difference it makes if you have more defense versus not having more defense. Okay, so here we go. Let me just get my thing up. We're going to have it right about now. There it is. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And we're gonna take a quick screenshot of it. Okay, so right after the 3. Okay, right after the 3. That's where it stops. 3, right, a little bit after the 3. Okay, so I have a, I don't have a screenshot yet of it, but you guys saw where it goes. I think that's pretty straightforward. Right after the 3. So I'll clip it. I'll clip it in the video and show you guys. I'll put a little arrow there. Okay, so right after the 3. Now let's go back and put on another set. Okay, let's just see how much that 30% actually makes an impact. So remember, the Guardian set realistically is going to help him get more damage increase through the actual effect of having a shield, but also will increase his shield. But how much is 30%? A lot of people have been asking me that question, so I decided, you know what, let's actually show you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my Warmonger set, okay? So let's go back in here. We're going to clip this out. We're going to put Warmonger on, which I think has about another 1K more defense than any other set that I possess. Which is the set that I had? I think it was this one. Yeah, this one. Equip. All right, we're going to equip on the next Warmonger set, which also had a lot of defense. Well, not a lot, but I mean enough defense to make a difference. Just see which one it was. I wish we could they would just freaking add presets, man. I hate doing this. I hate looking for what I need. This should be simply like, hey, I press the button, boom, all of them back on. All right, there's another one. Defense +3. I'm pretty sure it's that one. And then over here, you guys can see I have crit hit boots with defense +3 there. But we're going to switch these out for... Hell, you know what? Let's just put even more... Let's just put in... where's my defense boots? These ones. Okay, so now if you look here, my defense should be... There it is. 25625. So a little bit... Around 1,000 more. All right? I think the other one was 2477 something. This is 25625. Now let's take a look and see how much of a difference the shield is without Guardian. If it's a massive difference or not. Now remember, the Guardian was a little bit after the 3 mark. We can simply check now to see how big of a difference or lack thereof of a difference Guardian makes, and if it's worthwhile for the shield. Okay, so let's go here. You guys can see I'm building. I'm gonna go ahead and do my ultimate now. Now you guys can see not as much, right? But also not that big of a difference. Not that big of a difference. So that's how much 30% makes. Now keep in mind, the more defense you have, the better, right? The more defense you have, the better. The bigger your shield as well. So in this case, from the looks of it, it's almost about, I'd say a sliver better. Just a sliver better. And again, I'll show you guys in the video with a little arrow in terms of how it looks, right? So again, it's not that big of a difference for Guardian. A lot of people thought it's going to be a lot bigger. Hell, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger, but clearly that's not the case because we have a smaller shield pop-up than expected. So Guardian, unfortunately, guys, when it comes down to the actual shield itself, does not really impact the shield as much as I originally was hoping for. That's another thing that I think is a major issue, and I personally think that it should have made a bigger impact. And I thought, the 10%'s nice. Don't get me wrong. The 10% is nice. But if we look again, right here it is again. I would say, honestly, it's just like a tiny bar more. It's probably like right around here, right? It's like an extra attack more, which I don't think is worth it. So I just want to show you guys how that works. Now, the other armor I was testing, because I know you can get acquisition from doing core attacks, was the solid foundation. Because solid foundation allows you to get your core quicker, I thought maybe you can just keep building on the shield. I did my testing. I don't want to show it again, but it actually doesn't work. Your shield drops way too fast for the core attack to build up in order for you to keep refreshing it. So you unfortunately you drop it anyways. You'll just get it right back a little quicker, but it's not enough of an impact to make a difference. So there you guys go. I just want to share that Guardian test with you and make sure that you guys understood. But solid foundation, Guardian set, not as good as Warmonger or Curse and Obsidian. So again, want to share that info. If you guys have other information you guys that you see differently on your end and you've done the testing, let me know. Shout out to Ryan over here. All right, so let me just bring my Discord over, which also did the testing for me. So he did Guardian set at 29.3. You guys can see it's right about the 2.8. And then he did 30,000 with non-Guardian. And again, you can see it's literally a sliver. It goes from the 8 to the back of the 8 to the front of the 8, and that's literally right here. So that's the 30% you're seeing, and this of course has a little bit over 1k defense. So defense plays a way bigger role than, in my opinion, than the actual shield percentage that is offered from the Guardian set. All right, guys, Payne, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.